Hello folks, and obviously as you can see it's another Charioteer video. As previously mentioned, I was playing this because a friend requested it, but when I came to take the footage with it, I ended up with one very good game which I really felt deserved its own separate video. But while I was pleased with that game, I don't think it's really a video that shows how to get the most out of the Charioteer in multiple situations, which is what I've been hoping to use my videos for. So I've taken the rest of the clips and put this together. Not with the ideal maps, but hopefully there's a bit more general how to play out of this. As you can see, I am on Sinai. It is a 6.7 game, and I've decided to push the east flank. I don't very often push the east flank, but I feel there's a bit more cover to hide behind for this tank, and I need less gun depression to operate over here. So, Sinai U251 trying to go through the middle there, and shoot into his turret and take out all three crew members. I'm trying to stay behind these rocks as much as I can and look for new targets. Sort of Tiger 1, just a bit low for the ammo rack there. I mean, it's a moving target. I really need to be going for his engine, but I wanted to make sure I got rid of his gun as quickly as possible. So my shot placement, not the best. First game of the day, you know, early in the morning. Let's just blame it on that, I think. It's taking me far too many shots here and he's going to get away, unfortunately. Now, although this is quite a small map, and there's not really any way you can properly flank, it's pretty much entirely head-ons except for shooting across the middle, and this tank functions best with flanking. It's got good speed, it's got a gun that works well at long range due to the high pen and the high velocity. So that's what I'm trying to do, play around the side and take the longer shots when I can. Now, just coming down here quickly to finish the Tiger. My team was advancing up reasonably, so I could tell there shouldn't be anything shooting at me as I come down here. Set him on fire to interrupt his repair and finish him off. Now, quickly duck back behind the rocks. And I've moved up, back again onto the east flank. There was a Panther ahead of me. He killed an ally, so I was trying to be a bit cautious, sticking to the cover rather than advancing. See this? Turns out it's a whirlwind. So go for the turret first, because he will absolutely annihilate me if he gets any chance to shoot. So take out the turret crew and then finish it off with one to the hull. Pushed up further, following this FE-402 as he seemed to be engaging a few things. Have ended up as a result behind the enemy spawn. These two Tigers turned around and saw him, but they haven't seen me behind this rock. So first, going for the gunner on that tank. Second one hasn't seen me yet. Get his breach. They're now both out of commission. Turn. Finish this one first. Shot to the front of that angle will get both the driver and the gunner. Again, same with this Tiger, driver and gunner. Oh, 4 crew in that case, actually. So that's 5 and end of the first game. Now on Eastern Europe it is a single cap, and again I am going for the wide flank. The tank has good turn of speed. Spot this Tiger 2 crossing there. Shot a bit low and a bit too late, to be honest, but a couple of Panthers advancing up the hill. It's not my best plan, stopping in the middle of this bridge, but I wanted to take the shots while the enemy was still there. I do need to be more aware of what's around me though. It didn't go wrong for me this time, but it could if I did this before. He's got no turret crew on the Panther, so go for the frontal hull crew there. Somehow I actually killed the gunner instead, but it doesn't matter, it's a kill. Now there was a shot came across my back, and again there are Tigers up around there. Looks like there's 2. Let's slink away back into the forest. Now, unlike the majority of British tanks, the Charioteer does not have good gun depression. It's only -5. It's still not got a great reverse speed. It's still not got great armour, but it's a good rate of fire. Unfortunately, not quite got the ammo capacity to go with it. Well, pop up. See a Panther chasing whatever our medium is over there. Get his engine. Roll back a bit, and he's burnt out, or Jade out, one or the other. So, Tiger's given up on me. I'm firing a little low, and I am on a slope, so my shots are also flying off to one side. It takes me a while here to get the range honed in. You see the shot's going quite off the centre of the crosshair there. Take out his driver and finish him off. So that's 4. So playing the long distance game, very advisable with such a papery tank. You can't always, this map doesn't have great long distance for instance, so again trying to go out to the sides where I'm less likely to encounter tanks straight on. Take out this bulldog there, start creeping along under this ridge. Again, I'm not quite as far away as I'd like to be, but it is a slightly less travelled road. Hoping to get some side shots into anyone going to the B point.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Now, there is artillery fire coming on me. Somebody knows where I am. Have to assume it's that M41 that I killed. Keep moving up, try and get away from the artillery. Now, I did have a plan for what I wanted to do, but knowing that M41 was coming back for me in an anti-aircraft gun, I really wanted to get prepared for him. I was kind of expecting him to come the same way, and certainly it's the only way I can keep an eye on right now. There's nowhere else. You know, I can't look up. This doesn't have the elevation for that. There is a tank ahead of me there. Should be a Tiger. Looks like there's 2 actually. So peek up to try and shoot them. And there we go. He was coming back for me, but he came back on top instead. Tried to call for backup, but it's an anti-aircraft gun and this has only got 30mm of armour, so it was never going to go great. Back on Sinai now. Seen a bit of movement, and again I'm playing on the east. Just missed that shot there. But as I said in the previous game, the east side, you've got a bit more flat terrain, so the lack of gun depression isn't such an issue. You're more likely to be able to get a few long distance shots across this middle area. I think for a tank like this it suits it a bit better. You also probably got more cover to enable you to run away if you need to. Take out a Panther D with a side shot.
The gun's been loaded.
Just sitting supporting this Carnarvon at the moment. Don't really have the armour to beat the Vanguard. But I want to turn around and make sure I can shoot anything driving onto the cap. Now that there's no more targets in the middle, it should be the ideal time to do that. There is a Tiger 2 moving on there. Can't quite see him from this angle, but he hasn't spotted me.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Quick check, make sure I'm clear. Tiger 2 isn't paying attention in my direction. I can peek out and go for his side. So, breach shot first, and then take the hit. Panther behind the rock ahead of me. Again, a little too up close really for the Charioteer. This map's not ideal for it. Now, if I hadn't had a high level crew, that would have killed me. You can see I lost 1 crew member and 2 who are extremely injured. I've stopped, I've got a new member of crew and moved on a bit. I'm now over near the B point. See this tiger coming up. Again, placing the shot to try and make sure that the gunner and driver are lined up and will both be taken out in one. I do know there's a panther around this corner. So just quickly, not ideal to go through the B point, it alerts him that I'm coming. But he's still moving up, and it's not the quickest traverse as the Panther D. Ideally, you don't want to be playing up close and personal with the Charioteer again. It can cope with it, but you need to stay in cover for as long as possible. Come out when the enemy isn't looking at you and take the gun down as quickly as possible. Long range is where it plays best though. Then, coming to the end of the game now, there's one player left who still hasn't died. And I've just spotted him over there near the spawn. There we are, finish him off. Just double check, it was the guy who... Just ambushing a panther on the corner here. Again, it is up close, but if he doesn't know I'm here, and take his ammo. Shooting under the turret should get all of his turret crew if the ammo rack doesn't explode. Doesn't always, but mostly it works out. Now, I haven't had to pop my smoke at all in any of these games. It's not the ideal long-range maps. Did have a couple the other day on stream which were both much longer ranges. Kursk and Karelia both went very well, surprisingly actually, for the Charioteer. But they are of course on stream, so I don't have them recorded for use in the video. Just finishing this Ostwind here. Again, turret crew first. It does enable him to run away, but it means I'm not going to be dying. And there we go. So, nothing significant in this clip, I just wanted to show this moment. That perfectly timed jump for the RU-251, saving him there. But back onto Eastern Europe, and again I'm going out on the flank. It's the usual cap setup here, domination with 3 caps. I don't want to be going to the town. Going out around the South Forest is doable, but I find it's harder to get shots, both due to the amount of trees in your way, and because it's much more likely that people are actually looking that way. So I'm climbing up the hill over the river. I keep my eye out for targets. Often people go into the windmill, and there's 2 going up there this time. So I'm not sure if they've noticed me, but take one first, get his transmission. He has seen me as it happens, but finish him off. We fired a little short. I've played this way a bit before in various tanks. I know the range a bit, so there's a Tiger II there rolling down the hill behind him. He's obviously seen the STA explode and isn't quite sure where the shells are coming from. Yeah, I am fast. Should be able to get up into this town before anything from the enemy team, even though I have stopped to take a few shots there. And I do have someone else coming up with me. Don't want to over push. You never know what's coming. And just to take a quick look ahead. Can't see anything. So I'm just going to stay in this town. You can often get shots onto the B point from here. Good support for your team when they're trying to take it. So, Tiger II's come back. just get as much of my tank behind cover there as possible, so that if he does try to shoot, there's more of a chance of it evading it, which did manage to, and took out his turret crew. Take his transmission. He's only got one crew left before he dies. Tried to get the driver, but everything's absorbed by the transmission bar still, so let's go back for that turret. And there we go. Now again, can't stay still for too long. I was a bit indecisive about which way to go there. It's the almost full rotation on the spot. It's not quite got Hellcat levels of mobility, but it is a fairly mobile tank. Now, the T-44 that was up here with me did get shot, so I came back up to the top end of the town to try and see if I could find what shot him. Now, it was a 2H that I ended up killing, whereas he died to a Panther D. I wasn't sure if the Panther was up here or if it was on the other side of the map somewhere, but looking around the town I couldn't find anything. 2H was a bit unexpected, but again, staying around up here and just trying to see if I can get some supporting shots down over the river. Got a good position, there's no real reason to leave it. I should really sit more stationary. You a little more obvious if you're moving around like this. And the Panther that killed that T-44 will obviously still be capable of shooting up here. There is artillery dropping, which I didn't actually notice during the game. I've only realised it at the end here when making the video. But the team's pushed forwards, so I felt it was time to start moving down. See if I can further flank, maybe come in from behind them. Following this Super Hellcat down. Just again, double checking the windmill. There is some movement over the bridge there, and this is where I make my mistake. I do this all the time, I should go for cover rather than stopping to fire where I am. It results in me getting shot. But I do this all the time, it's just that staying still out in the open rather than going for cover. So what can I say about the Charioteer there? I think it's a good tank actually. This past day of playing it has made me a lot more fond of it than I used to be. I previously absolutely despised it, feeling that you couldn't really do much with it, but it is definitely a decent tank if you can play it a bit more out on the wings. Certain maps aren't going to work too well for it. It's a very shoot and scoot play style. You need to fire and then move on. Try and stay at long range, out on the flanks whenever possible. Generally, just out of people's line of sight. Side shots with APDS don't usually result in kills too much, unfortunately, but it's the only way to keep yourself alive. You don't want to be getting in front of the enemies. You can play a bit closer up as long as you have some cover to hide behind. Allow enemies to pass you and then go and shoot them in the back. Now, with the APDS, it does have a really good shell velocity there and pretty good pen as well. Even out to 1,000 meters, still 239mm of penetration. That'll enable it to work very well at long distance. Eastern Europe game's a good example. Staying really far away from the combat, still able to pen tanks quite comfortably. So, what else? Let's have a look at the armour. Turret only 30mm, not great. Hull 63, bit better. Not on the sides though. 25mm upper and 14mm lower. You're going to die if anything looks at you. Having a good crew helps. It means your crew might just survive. You've got a 6.6 second reload with an expert crew. Only the 5 gun depression though. It's one downside of it that I really don't like. 57km top speed. You don't always reach it. I think on concrete you can probably push it into the 50s, but most of the time you'll find yourself going more around the 40km mark. The acceleration and the traverse are both very good for it, so it is decently mobile as previously mentioned. Ultimately though, yes, flank, snipe, shoot and scoot. Hope this has been of use to you, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.